Welcome, Facebook Live viewers. My name is Brad Bodis, and we appreciate you joining us again this week. I'm an attorney with the Bond and Bodis Law Offices, and the Bond and Bodis Law Offices are located throughout Alabama. We're throughout Mississippi, and we're in the Knoxville area in Tennessee. And we help people with money problems. And we're going to talk about an important issue today, but so many of the issues we've addressed, so many of the things happening right now over the last year or so have caused people to experience money problems. We know about the anxiety that financial issues can create, and we just want to encourage you. If you're having financial challenges, please reach out. We're offering absolutely free initial consultations right now for your safety, your comfort. We'll do them from your home or office. We'll do them virtually for you. No charge. We just want to talk to you about your financial challenges and the options that exist for you. So please, if we can help you, reach out. I'm really excited about this week's episode of Facebook Live. We're very fortunate to have a retired Army Major, Mac Maxim, who will join us today to talk about a nonprofit that he has started in the Tampa Bay area in Florida, working with veterans and using some alternative therapies to help with issues related to PTSD and to prevent the ever-increasing number of suicides amongst the veterans in our communities. So, Mac, welcome. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. Appreciate you inviting me.
I am always thrilled to talk to a veteran. I'm always thankful for the service of our veterans. If you just get started, why don't you tell our viewers a little bit about your military background, but before you got into the nonprofit business?
Well, I enlisted in 1989 and became an officer in 91 at the University of Cincinnati, and I was branch field artillery. But for 20 years, I had about 12 different assignments and jobs globally. And I ended up the director or started the program at University of South Florida, St. Petersburg, the ROTC program. And I retired out of that assignment. So various deployments, Hawaii, Cuba, Iraq. And I think this was a kind of a calling because I volunteered to start up the organization at USF St. Pete. Nobody wanted to do it. And I was crazy enough to say, hey, I'm going to do it. That first year was very hard because I had no staff, no money. It was just like I felt like Dances with the Wolves, I was out at the outpost. So that was incredibly successful, and we grew by bounds. There was no organization down there at USF St. Pete. So that's kind of an overview of my military service. So
what part of the country did you grow up in, Mac?
Cincinnati.
Okay, so and then attended school there, and then joined the military. And I'm just trying timing. 1989, of course, it was post-Vietnam, but we were just getting ready to get involved in Iraq. And you said you actually did do some service in Iraq while you were active duty?
Yes. My kind of focus was also on the Pacific Theater because I was assigned in Hawaii twice, and I did my command out there in 25th Infantry Division as well. So a lot of stuff, a lot of leadership and director and staff positions throughout the 20 years, about 12 jobs, and a lot of highs and lows. But that's right.
Got it. So we're very grateful to have you here today, and we're going to talk so our viewers know about a nonprofit organization that Mac has started in the Tampa Bay area in Florida to work with veterans and help them work in some alternative manners to deal with some of the issues that they've encountered as a result, in many instances, of their services serving us, working for us in the United States military. So we're thankful to you. We do these Facebook Live episodes weekly. And although we are recording this live today, thank you, Mac, in the middle of the day for doing this with us. I want you to know that these episodes live on our Facebook page and on our firm's website. So if you know somebody that perhaps hasn't had the opportunity to tune in today, I think you're going to find the information that Mac's going to share to be very, very interesting. If you know of a veteran, if you are a veteran, certainly if you have a loved one that's unable to view, please encourage them to come back to this Facebook episode so that you can hear what Mac will have to share today. We've already been told about Mac's service in the military. So Mac, bring us up to date. Then you left the military after how many years in service? You started in 89.
20 years too quick. It goes by like lightning. And I have my hair, like a little gray hair on the side. But the story of the Veterans Arts Center Tampa Bay was conducting physical fitness in downtown St. Petersburg, running. And I said to myself, where is there a place for military veterans, families through the arts? Because there's got to be military and veteran artists.
Right.
Well, I became a board member at the St. Pete Museum of History, and the launching for the VATCB was I secured a national traveling exhibit called the American Soldier Exhibit, which is now permanently donated to the museum. And that was kind of the igniting portion of the VATCB. I met a couple.
Let me interrupt just for a second because I'm fascinated. Did you have a background in art? What caused you to?
None. It was like an epiphany. Somebody had to say, what happened? And I'm like, they said, that's an epiphany. And it was just things like it happened to be. And it's weird how life, leads you in a direction. And it just kind of, it's stuck in my mind, and just continue to say, hey, look, I've met some philanthropic families. They said, go big or go home. Very iconic names in Tampa Bay, the Stavroses. And he was my mentor, the non-for-profit. I don't have a degree in that. I just knew how to, stand up an organization like USF St. Pete.
Right.
And from 2014 to today, it's neat to see the organization evolve and to see it grow and retract due to COVID and seeing how essential our organization is for mental health, suicide prevention, healing, wellness through the arts. There is a big a push for the Americans for the Arts, the DoD, the VA, and other non-for-profits to find alternate therapies. Just like U.S. Representative Gus Pilarakis, he's done a lot of legislation for alternative therapies instead of putting them on pills and drugs and all that. So guys and gals, the VA is good, but we're not HIPAA. We're not a medical. We are a place that's unique. We're actually pioneering a model in the state of Florida. There's nothing like this being done. So I'm kind of, charging and, learning it as we go, but making this a model for the state of Florida.
So you get out of the military somewhere around 2009. You have no background in art, and you decide that you're going to use the epiphany you had, or you're going to work with veterans that are suffering from PTSD, and you're going to use art as alternative therapy. Art, you've got me intrigued now. So first step, how do you start a nonprofit such as this? And
it's actually it's relatively simple. You just got to have some money to file for the IRS and the state of Florida, and once you do that and you're legal, then you just up and running. But it's essential that you get the filing because you accept contributions.
Sure.
And you want to have that. You want to be totally legal. And it's 2014 was kind of a planning year. We didn't do any programs. We were just standing up the corporation and company and then going forward. I just kept on going. I could have quit. The thing is, nobody's ordering me this. Nobody's asking me to do this. I'm doing it because I think it's a value for the state of Florida, the military veterans and families, and it's something that is unique.
And it's very needed. And I can speak personally. and professional. And personally, I've certainly had family members that have served in the military that have dealt with issues related to their service. Um, uh, we use different names for my uncles that served in World War II, and
Yeah, yeah.
and for those that served, I think PTSD came around, that term itself, but certainly people that have come back from service in the military have dealt with issues. And then my law firm, one of my law partners is a former JAG officer, Ron Sixtus, and represents many veterans
Yeah.
In their pursuit of their VA benefits and the appeals and all the process related there. So tell me, based upon your experience in the military and in getting the program started, what are some of the issues that veterans deal with, and how do they come about, Mac?
Well, it's the variance of issues, but the essential thing is our place, which we did not renew our lease before COVID, which is totally fine in St. Pete. We are relaunching the center without a home in Hillsborough County. It's good to take steps back to take 3 steps forward. So our programs currently right now, we're doing meditation, yoga. We are planning to do courses at the Falkenberg Jail, which we've done in Pinellas County, which were incredibly successful. Exhibits that we're bringing in November called Eyes of Freedom, and that's a Marine Corps art exhibit memorial. And I've always wanted to bring this down here, and now the timing is right in the November timeframe. So we're going to fundraise for that, but it correlates with our mission statement through education, through memorializing through the arts. We've done a Amplified program, which is a music program. We do Veterans History Project, which we're recording veterans' stories from World War II primarily. We're doing a lot of little different things, and it's neat to change up the programs right now because of COVID, remote, non-remote. So we are planning on, we're all waiting right now. I'm waiting to do a relaunch reception in Ybor City, just timing, because we want to bring in 150 people estimated. So, we get this, out in the media and in the community in Hillsborough County. It's been an interesting year. Last year, we've done a lot of outreach through toy drives and school drives and art supply drives. Blix, they just raised about $19,000 last Christmas of art supplies. They're a good partner and supporter of the Veterans Arts Center Tampa Bay. It's incredible how the organization has evolved right now, and I just keep going. Just keep going. I can quit, and I've committed. Look, I want the VATCB to be a legacy for Tampa Bay and the state of Florida. I don't want my name to it, but I have to have this before I pass. Eventually, I'll pass it along to the new director. Not now. And this is, I don't know. This is my thing that I do. I believe in it. I believe in mental health. I believe that we need more of it, and we need more resources through mental health. And also, just to update you, we have prevented now 3 suicides at the Art Center. And
that's awesome.
We are not, I can do everything, I can fail in life, but we say proudly that we prevented those 3 at the center. We're not HIPAA, we're not medical. We are a very, very non-threatening place. It's just, I'm proud to say that. But also, go ahead.
What are some of the type issues that the veterans have that come to you, and what type of issues do veterans encounter as they're re-entering civilian life?
Well, from Vietnam, that's different, but the young guys and gals, looking for a place to vent, to show their artwork as well. Some guys and gals say, "Oh, Major Mac, I am so happy that you have a place to show art." We're not an art sales place. I give them the opportunity, and they feel so much needed and appreciative and valued that they have a place to say, "Hey, Major Mac, show your artwork." And I've had that multiple times. That's why we have to have a place, and we'll get a place. We're homeless, but
Right.
we'll get a place, and it's not our priority financially. Our programs are programs. So
Right. What the veteran you said needed somebody somewhere just to vent, to express their is there anger? Is that what they're dealing with, or do they just have feelings
different
generally?
different issues, drinking issues, drug issues, reintegration issues, family issues. There's always a gamut of issues, and we're doing it, you
Right.
know, and it's a trudge. Non-for-profits are very, very hard. You got fundraising, you have operating costs, you have volunteers and board members. It's challenging, but we're doing it, and we got a good team. We got a good volunteers. We partnered up with a lot of non-for-profits, a lot of for-profits that believe in our mission statement, and we want more partnerships, formal partnerships. That's a
Sure.
learn what we that was a lesson learned down in St. Petersburg, and that's where we're heading, where our trajectory and our vision now. I didn't think I partnered enough in St. Petersburg, and I'm learning lessons too, and that's the benefit of learning about your organization, what to do right, what to do wrong, and then move forward.
Are there organizations similar to yours elsewhere in the country where people are working, veterans are working through art to deal with the issues that
Yes.
they've encountered?
Yes, we partnered with a organization in Grand Rapids, Michigan. There's some programs like ours in Colorado and Arizona, and they're sporadic, but you can see the trend nationally. It is needed, and it is valued, and it's tough.
Right.
It's tough because it's all about finances, getting contributions to keep the center going, and but we you know what, we've adapted. We've changed. If you're not adapting for the issues right now with COVID, you're going to fail. And we were going to apply for like 3 grants. We didn't get 3 grants because we think it's big non for profits, small non for profits, big business, small business, and it correlates to that because I always contact the state of Florida of arts and culture, and I've a lot of lessons, a lot of learning thing on where the money's going to as well. But we're surviving, and we're doing. Look, we are making a difference because we're doing our programs. Period. Yeah.
Tell us about some of the alternative therapies that you're using specifically with the veterans that you assist.
Okay. We did a program at Pinellas County. This is the great one at Pinellas County Jailhouse, and we served about 35 incarcerated veterans. And I'll email you this letter that I just recently got from a veteran that was incarcerated. He lives out in Colorado, and that was a life changer for him. I'll text or I'll scan that back to you. You can read it.
Sure.
It's
We'll
so
put it on our Facebook page.
yeah, and he called me and he goes, Major Mac, you saved my life. Your program, John Catterberg, he's the teacher that went to the jailhouse. That's one. And then we did amplify music program where we had 6 veterans that didn't know how to sing, do lyrics, and they did a performance at the grand opening. It was powerful. Veterans History Project again, recording World War II veterans, their stories, and that goes into the Library of Archives. Art classes. Now we're doing a lot of remote art classes, and we're doing a lot of off-site because we don't have a property. So our instructors are going out there and doing outreach and classes and courses as well. May it be fluid artwork or different types of what their technique is as well. Just there's so much stuff we're doing. Now we do exhibits too. Like I said, we're bringing in the Eyes of Freedom. It's a Marine Corps exhibit, and they had 23 Marines killed in action Iraq. the guys that were in the unit stood up this memorial artwork, this big panels of art. That's going to be the first time in the state of Florida we're going to get that in. So it's educating through art as well. And there's just a whole bunch of variants of stuff. And then our outreach is our school drives and our toy drives as well. And just we're doing a whole bunch of various of different things that are unique. And
you described the program with actually going into the prison to work with the veterans there. Is there a large percentage of incarcerated veterans? That's sad to me.
Yes, in Pinellas County, and now we're going to do courses and classes at Falkenberg Jail. And Judge Holder and Colonel Reyes, they run the Veterans Treatment Court. We are kind of tagging along and adding a little bit of different value for incarcerated veterans, and because we did it at Pinellas County,
Got
it was successful. That was life changing, because with the products that I have and the products that I just recently got, it's focusing on not behind bars, it's focusing on the artwork.
I would guess that many of the veterans that do find themselves incarcerated are there as a result of some of the PTSD issues that they have dealt with.
Exactly.
And I'm really having an alternative therapy for these veterans, as opposed to just being penalized by being thrown into a prison. Having some way to help them deal with their issues just sounds like a tremendous opportunity. Have you been able to work with any of these individuals after they have been released from incarceration?
Yes, John Catterberg, he led up our program at Pinellas, and he is doing his outreach and connecting. And we need to we need to improve on that too. So we follow on and we follow up after the fact that they get out, just like Mike here, Keonis, and we outreach to him. He lives in Colorado, and is a perfect example, because it changed his life, his trajectory, through Veterans Treatment Court, through VATCB. Now he's got a great job out in Colorado right now. So that's just an example.
That's great. So although you're based in Tampa Bay, it sounds like you work with veterans across the country. Is that accurate?
Yeah, our partnerships with Common Sense Broadcasting Network down south, because we want to do podcasts, talk therapy. That's our vision, our 2021 goals. And then also creative veterans art up in Grand Rapids, Michigan, yoga. I mean, it's great to see people, the synergy here from St. Petersburg. It's something different, and I think we're going about it differently from here. Back when we were doing it in St. Pete, we had a beautiful property. He just wanted money, when I said no.
If there's anything at all positive about what we've been through over the last year with COVID, is we have learned to network interactively, as you and I are today, using social media and using platforms such as Zoom to communicate with people. And you mentioned that you're doing virtual type programs, which is just great, because people can benefit from what you're doing no matter where they're located. And I encourage our viewers to visit the Facebook page that we've linked here, and we'll link again so that you can click through to it. We'll put it on our Facebook page also.
Yeah.
And as you've heard Mac express, this is a program we need to support. Mac's doing hard work for our veterans that have served us. And we need to support what he's doing, what his organization's doing, and what other veterans organizations are doing. But on your screen, you can see the link to the Facebook page for Mac's organization. And certainly anything you can do to help right now, please do. Folks, I want to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back and answer some of your questions. But just to recap, my name is Brad Bodas, and I'm an attorney with the Bond & Bodas Law Offices. The Bond & Bodas Law Offices help people deal with money issues. We've been doing so for over 30 years. We're located throughout Alabama. We're in Mississippi. We're in the Knoxville area in Tennessee. And our attorneys are offering at this time absolutely free initial consultations. If you or someone you know is having a hard time dealing with debt issues, perhaps caused by the effects of COVID over the last year, please reach out. It's an absolutely free initial consultation with an experienced attorney, and at a minimum, you will know more about your options than you did before you reached out to us. We are doing these Facebook Live episodes to help people be aware of various issues that face our community and to provide information to you to help you. If you know a veteran that is dealing with issues resulting from their service or may even be suicidal, I encourage you to send them back to this episode and this Facebook page to learn more about what Mac and his organization is doing for our veterans. We're so thankful for our veterans. We're so thankful for people like Mac that work with our veterans. Last week's episode was a fascinating episode. We had Dr. Larry Gazzini, and we talked about life after the vaccine, what we can expect going forward. We all hope that there's a silver light out there on the horizon. And Larry certainly had some encouragements, also some words of caution. So I encourage you to look back at that. Mac, if you're willing, we have had some questions that have come in from some of our viewers.
Sure.
I'd like to pose some of those questions back to you if you don't mind answering them. Is that good with you?
That's fine. Shoot them. I hope I can answer.
Great. So this first question, person wants to know, how long do alternative therapies take to work? If somebody first comes in, I guess a veteran to see you and they're having some problems, how long will it take for these type therapies to start working?
That's a good question. Every veteran, military, or first responder is different, but we have an open door. And if you want to take different classes or courses, yes. But I kind of treat it as our family. So we want to keep you engaged throughout this, center. We want you to be involved in the center as well, because it gives them a purpose, as for them doing art or taking meditation or yoga as well. And we're here, we're open, we're not discriminatory and all of that. And it all depends. It's neat to see guys and gals, veterans and military, stick with it and get involved. This success and the legacy of the Art Center. That's what's really powerful. Because
what I love,
yeah, they have
what I love about what you just said. You go ahead, Mac. I'm sorry.
No, they have a place besides the VA that's safe, that makes them feel proud. That it's so different from the VA. We don't really work with the VA. We'd love to and all, but they have their purpose medically. We have ours. And time and time again, when we had that property, folks came in and said, wow, I was like, I said, what is your first, what did you think of when you walked in? And everyone said, wow. Everyone, because visitors and everything. And that was kind of like my little survey, an internal survey, because it said, okay, I'm doing something right. We have a property that is the wow factor. We'll get there eventually again in Hillsborough. And that's all I can say. I mean, well, yeah.
What I really like about your answer, and it's the same attitude we try to have in our offices, everybody's different. Everybody's different. Nobody is going to heal in the same manner. And it sounds like you are very conscious of that. It's this question, how long does it take for these therapies to work, is a tough one, because for some people they may kick in very quickly, and somebody may really begin to recover in days or weeks. Others, it's going to be a life journey. It's going to be something that you're going to be involved with them with over a period of time.
It's like maintenance. It's like doing an oil change, right? You have to do it regularly. You have to maintain it. If it's a lifelong, if PTSD healing and suicide prevention, it's a lifelong thing because there's things that it'll pop up and you'll never know. It's like, oh my God, he committed suicide. Well, I didn't know that he was going to commit suicide.
Yeah.
It's examples like that are you can't judge, or you can't benchmark off of that. And we don't do survey. We only surveys. We don't say, are you suicidal? We don't do that. The measure of suicide prevention is they came to my office, they contacted me, and they said, Major Mac, you saved the center saved my life. And because if you're doing surveys, you're planting that seed, I think,
right,
for suicide prevention. So we're really focused on those tenets: mental health, healing and wellness, suicide prevention through the arts, alternative therapies. And it's new because there's nothing, there's stuff in Americans to the Arts and DOD and VA and all, but like, again, it's a new thing that like the legislators and state senators and U.S. congressmen, Gus Billerach as an example, has done legislation on. And I was doing VATCB, and I didn't know about they were doing all this stuff in D.C. and all, and it just kind of merged into one powerhouse. So it's weird. It's weird how life, it directs you. Because, like, I'm not an artist. It was the idea, and the idea, which matters. But I have to keep it open, and it is a struggle financially, but it's worth it because we are changing people's lives in a positive manner. May it be a kid, a family member, because we always forget the families, first responders. We're open, and it's neat to see the evolution or the life of an organization as well. I just keep going.
I think I'm gonna add to what you just said. Yes, it was an idea, but it also clearly was a desire to help others, to help specifically your brothers and sisters in the military, people that experienced some of the same things you did, and you were able to recognize the issues that they're dealing with. And it was not just an idea, it was a desire to help, and I admire that. And I encourage all of our viewers to look for opportunities to help. So, Mac, this next question is, do you only have programs in Tampa Bay? If I want to help, if I want to get involved, and I'm not in the Tampa Bay area, how can I do so? If I'm either a veteran or somebody that wants to.
Well, yeah, there's a couple things. If they want to teach, we'll do it virtually. Like, for example, we partnered with Veterans Creative Art in Grand Rapids. He's a great guy. I value our partnerships now because they're so unique, and they align with our mission. And we're trying to build. I guess we're automatically building a coalition for mental health, healing, and suicide prevention through the arts. It just kind of happens. And teaching, of course, involvement remotely. That's the thing I would advise him or her, and reach out to me as well, and we'll figure it out. Because he or she has a uniqueness that wants to be a part of the center, but also adds the value of the center.
I imagine there are people that are both consumers of your services, veterans that are dealing with issues that also can serve on the other side and help others deal with their issues. Do you see some of that also?
Yes, exactly.
If a veteran, somebody that is dealing with these type issues, is not in the Tampa Bay area, if they reach out to you, can you help them either work with your program or find similar programs that are near to them?
Yes. We'll have to research and look at where they're living and where we can help out.
So I encourage our viewers. Mac's phone number, email address is on the screen in front of you. Take down the information. Mac's got a big job here. There are a lot of our veterans that are dealing with these type issues right now, and the challenges of COVID have caused this challenge to be even more difficult. Reach out by offering assistance. Reach out financially. Reach out and talk to Mac about how you or someone you love that may be dealing with these type issues can learn and benefit from these type alternative therapies. Mac, this viewer asked the question, said you mentioned that you work with incarcerated veterans. If somebody has a family member, a veteran family member or a loved one that's in prison, how can they get this type help? Is this something that's offered elsewhere that you're aware of? Are these type programs available?
Well, I don't think so in the state of Florida. I don't think anybody's doing this type of model in the state of Florida, but we've done it with Judge Burgess. He's a judge, circuit judge. He's an Army vet and he does photography. He loves this concept over in Pinellas. The Falkenberg jail, which is in Hillsborough, we got about 4 or 5 guys and gals that are doing their background checks to enter the jailhouse, because there's a process to it. And the jailhouse at Falkenberg, they're loving the idea. We haven't started that yet because I'm collecting all of the applications for entrance, because they got to get a background check and access as well. And we're just kind of ducktailing off of Veterans Treatment Court. The Veterans Treatment Court is different from what we're doing. We're just doing it. We're tagging along through our courses and classes. And like I said, we've done this before, and we're going to do it again in Falkenberg jail. So,
well, what I would encourage this person, and I can speak as an attorney because I've visited clients that have been incarcerated over the years, from friends and associates that are active with prison ministries. These type programs are a tremendous resource to prisoners. Too many times, people find themselves in prison because of issues like PTSD, mental health type issues that have caused them to do something and has resulted in them being incarcerated. Simple punishment isn't all these people need. They need rehabilitative help. They need to know that they're cared about. They need to know that they're loved. They need to know about faith and that there are opportunities. Mac has developed with his program a great model. So if you do have a family member or a loved one who's incarcerated, get involved. Reach out to Mac. Mac, I imagine you'll offer all the help you can if somebody wants to reach out to incarcerated veterans in a different part of the country and share with them what you've learned and give them some examples of things that have worked. Is that something you'd be willing to do to help people elsewhere?
Look, if it's helping military veterans and families, reach out to me. I have I'm open. I'm not a closed door, or we're just Florida. Since our partnerships along outside of the state of Florida as well. And tell her and him, or reach out, email me. Because it's helping everybody out. That bottom line is, we need each other in a time that our nation needs it. We need to bring people together, and a little laughter, a lot of laughter. And
absolutely.
And my personality, I'm kind of crazy and all that, but funny in a way. But I like a little laughter. We need to have that in our country right now.
Absolutely. Hey, so on that note, and I should have brought this up earlier, but you mentioned that while you were in the military, you had a nickname that kind of has stuck around. What was that nickname you mentioned?
Well, I got promoted to major. And I was going to PT one morning. This is years ago. I guess I'm showing my age. So one soldier yelled out, "Here comes Major Mac Daddy." So that's kind of a branding thing. It's kind of funny. And so if I made Lieutenant Colonel, then it would throw it off. It doesn't resonate. It doesn't sound good. And yeah, but that's kind of a coined brand. And a veteran Navy vet, he was a hip hop artist. He goes, Major Mac, you gotta call it Major Mac Daddy, because it's memory, it's funny, and that's just how. So I use it frequently, but not, I don't. I used to have a business card, Major Mac Daddy card, but so
I like that.
it's
You're
funny.
right.
It's just funny.
People humor.
Yeah, and it's just kind of a branding now, and it kind of evolved, and yeah.
So, Mac Daddy,
Yeah.
next question. Alternative therapies for veterans in general. Um, where can people go to learn more about the different types of alternative therapies? So many of our veterans, as you mentioned, are just the VA will put them on a medication or multiple medications. Um, where can people learn more about the alternative therapies that are available?
Americans for the Arts, NAMI, which is the National, Mental Health Substance Abuse Organization as well. Of course, the local VA as well, because they're doing their PTSD, but they're doing things through medical. We're not. There's a ton of alternate therapies, fishing, hunting, all of these things that are a part of alternate therapies. And just general research, Google and say military. I have a lot of products I can provide you through the Americans for the Arts. They did a huge national initiative through the arts for mental health, and they were pioneering. They were doing this big. I kind of got involved with it in DC, and they're kind of they have a special initiative for the arts and mental health and healing. So I
Yeah.
usually buy products for every. I try to educate people about the alternate therapies, and I usually attach those things as a part of our education or our folders, so that they understand and they know, how to either deal with it or learn.
Great advice, and you're just a wealth of information. And again, your phone number and website, email address are been on our screen several times. So I encourage our viewers. This is an area that interests you. If you have somebody that's been impacted by these type issues that you care about, or if you've been impacted, reach out to Mac for some information. There are a lot of great organizations that work with veterans, as there should be. Mac's, been through this and dealt with it and served 20 years in the Army on his own. So he's very aware of the issues that exist and how they can be best addressed. And I love when you mentioned different alternative therapies, Mac. You mentioned things like fishing. It really can be anything, I guess. Bowling, golf, just
Yeah.
something to get people's mind relaxed and off the issues that they're dealing with.
Yeah, there's tons of therapies alternative, and it's neat. I envision it would be neat to have a huge coalition of alternative therapies. We're not there yet, but it would be neat that our vision, so that we add it as a big one resource for military veterans and families. And we've added first responders a few years ago, because we know that they're under stress and pressure as well. And law enforcement doesn't really have, they kind of shun wave of that, but they do have, counseling, the law enforcement. So we brought them under our umbrella of our
Good.
services, because they are being attacked, they are being shot at, they're all, et cetera, et cetera. They're under enormous amounts of pressure too. They're more in combat than, us at times, because you don't know if they're going to come home or not. So we've added that, and I think that'll be beneficial for first responders, law enforcement, EMTs, and it's our family. That's all it's our family. So.
Now that's wonderful that you're doing that. Certainly, first responders. deal with a lot of very heavy issues, and even more so over this last year.
Mm-hmm.
I want to tell our viewers we've had several episodes where we've talked about mental health issues and how mental health issues have become a very significant problem over the last year. Suicide rates are up for veterans, but they're also up for other, virtually all socioeconomic groups. It's been a tough last year, and although we see somewhat of a silver lining out there, it's not going to happen immediately, and you've got to remember that a lot of people still have, if they're in the military, they still have those things that they're holding on to and they're still dealing with. Certainly first responders, and certainly people that have been impacted by COVID over the last year, perhaps lost a loved one within the last year. Be conscious of this. Be kind to people. Reach out to people. Laugh with people, like Mac said, and seek out programs to become involved with, like this wonderful program that Mac has started in the Tampa Bay area. Mac, I've covered the questions that have come in this so far, and I know a lot of other people are going to be contacting you directly with questions.
Well, I hope they do. Reach out to me. We need help and we want to help. It's just, I don't have closed doors, and like I said, we don't have this is the state of Florida.
Well,
we're trying to save lives. We're trying to change lives. We're trying to, deal with the past and focus on the future through art or yoga or meditation or any type of alternative therapies that we are one of our programs that we're doing. So, yeah.
Mac, if there's one thing, I always like to give my guests at the end of these events an opportunity that I probably have missed something important. Can you kind of sum up for our viewers what you're doing, why you're doing it, and perhaps cover anything that you think might be important that I may have left out here?
I think the center we're changing lives positively. And that's, I think, the key. We're helping military veterans, families through this thing called art. And it is important, but it's sometimes hard to educate things as well. It's like, what's Mac doing? And like I said, we're not a gallery, we're not a museum. And we're a center for alternate therapies. And it's a unique mission. It's the first time in the state of Florida, and it's going good, but we need assistance and support, of course, everything non-for-profit. And that's about it. I mean, that's what I'm doing. Again, like I said, nobody's asking me to do this, ordering me, and I just kind of fell into this, and I believe in it. And it's neat to see the organization evolve. But it's surviving. We are surviving. There's we have to adapt. So
the work you're doing, the work you're doing is so important, and I want to encourage my viewers. If you're looking for a place to help, you've listened to Mac, you've heard about the work he's doing for our veterans. You know how important our veterans and first responders are, how many sacrifices they have made for you and for me and for our families and for our country. Reach out and help if you can. Go to the Facebook page. It's on our screen now, Force for Art on Facebook. Reach out to Mac through the contact information that's been provided. Help out if you can. Get involved. Help veterans, help other people. We're all about faith, family, and finances. And again, to our viewers, the Bond and Botus law offices are available. If we can help you, reach out to us. Mac, on behalf of myself and everyone I know, thank you to you and to all of our veterans for your service to our country.
No, thank you for having me on. God bless you. Thanks for having me on. So you can contact me through the Veterans Art Center Tampa Bay Facebook. I've also created a fundraiser for this duration as well. And we're redoing our website. I terminated our providers way out west. So we're revamping that, which is good. Change is good. And I hope to hear from you all in the future. And I hope to see you, sir. You'll come out here and we'll present you with our 2021 Eagle artwork.
Absolutely. I am
You
planning
can put it up
in that direction within the next month or so, and I may just stop in and see you. Mac, thank you. Please provide that fundraiser information, and I will get it up on our Facebook page for our viewers that are interested. Help Mac out if you can.
Yeah.
God bless, and we'll see everybody next week.
Okay. Thank you. God bless.